Welcome back to First Dan 2026. Today we've got G2 versus BLG live VOD review. Game 1 has just ended. Looking at these drafts, I think the most noticeable thing about the drafts in this one are the Senna, Nautilus, and Poppy Top from G2, as well as the Shen support from On. I personally think that this G2 comp has enough damage, but can very quickly run out of damage. And I think, as anyone that's watched any of my other videos knows, I think this Ablazeolive champ is completely broken. And from my perspective, I think if BLG don't go Mercs, then they're definitely at risk of getting killed in the engage. And if they do go Mercs, then they definitely aren't that tanky. So it's going to be a give and take. We'll have to see what they do. Otherwise, let's just get right into the game. So let's do.
They will have a clear path.
Okay.
See that kind of defensive ward.
So mismatched jungle clears. First play of the game is in the bot lane. Lots of trading going on. Shen was playing pretty aggressively, but then gets hooked from out of vision. And it almost looks like it's not going to work, but Hans does get the kill. 2v2 kill for G2. Excellent start for them. The later and later the game goes on, Senna's going to keep scaling, so getting an early advantage is very nice. There's a gank from Shun, but no one dies. And there's a gank top from Skimon, but no one dies. The junglers trade. Shun tries to bail out bot lane. Skips the camps, is a little bit behind on them, but ultimately is okay. Now here we have some action in the mid lane. Any Galio is a relatively like, it's not the most exciting lane, but this is probably one of the most exciting things that can happen. Knight tries to dive Caps. Caps spaces the W, but then flashes into the E because there's not enough damage after that point. But it ends up just being a trade of flashes in that situation. Now here, look at this huge bot wave from BLG. Senna's coming back from base. There were some good trades. And this huge bot prio leads BLG to start the dragon. And it just will be a free dragon with such a huge wave. No way that G2 can contest. And the junglers are mismatched. So they're often not going to be on the same side of the map. So if you're ever pathing and start the dragon or grubs, for example, naturally after your path, then the enemy jungler is most likely not going to be there. And from the previous dive, Caps has no flash, and that's why this gank works. No flash, no phase rush. Caps won't electrocute this game. So that's a free kill for Shun. But because Shun used the Xin Zhao ulti and Caps has what's called death tempo, where actually I guess he is a bit too late, but BLG opt not to try to contest these grubs. I'm not actually sure why. I feel like they probably should have. I thought the timing didn't work out, but I feel like Caps is dead for too long. What I was gonna say is that Caps has what's called death tempo, which means he dies and starts his respawn timer immediately and can be out on the map before you push your wave, go to a safe spot, and recall. But I'm not sure that was true. I guess they just thought they didn't want to fight because no Xin Zhao ulti. So any flash has just come back up. The arrow comes in, and any flash goes back down. Kind of sucks not having flash on Any. Any is such a huge threat, especially early on in the game, because having a good fight starter like Any stun can really change the way these early team fights play out. BLG look for an engage onto the bot side. It doesn't work, but BB finds a solo, and Beza has Eclipse already, and she had Eclipse when she died. So it's kind of crazy. I don't know how that happened. I don't think they ever show replay of that, but the Poppy into Mbessa, it's not that annoying, honestly, for Mbessa, because you don't have to do the dash, but definitely still a good play there from BB to get the solo. But here G2 started the dragon. They get the dragon, and now the fight is looking to start. Labrov ults on, but now Viper is the one that's way out of position. I think, looking at this fight, it was kind of a wasted Nautilus ulti. But I think it ends up still being good. If that W lands from Hansama, Shun might die. And here, this is a pretty classic play where this is like a mistake that pros make a lot. Somebody just spawning that has a global uses their global instantly as they respawn, and you get caught up by it. Shen had just respawned and instantly presses R on the Galio as soon as the Vi queues in, and that results in Caps going down again. So Caps is a pretty big part of this G2 composition. Without this is why BB died. The arrow. I did not see that originally. I just thought BB somehow entered it, but no, it was an arrow from Viper. So that's the second arrow that's gotten something pretty big. Anti-flash, and then the Poppy kill here. Schema doesn't manage to escape, but we will continue on. Nice little fight here. BLG start Herald on spawn. Shun isn't bothering to do his camps, so Skimon is going to walk in and kill his camps while BLG is doing the Herald. I think G2 feel like they just don't want to fight. Their team does lack damage a little bit. Like, they need to be kind of ahead of pace to feel like they have enough damage, and right now they're slightly behind, and he doesn't even have Milligans yet, so definitely not feeling amazing right now for G2. Here, the engage from BLG onto Labrov doesn't end up working. Nice buffers to get out of that, and Dragon's up. Infernal Soul, so this is going to be a big soul this game, especially if G2 can manage to snag it, because that'll help a lot with damage. The Battle Herald gets popped. The Herald's coming in, but it ends up being not only a double knockup, but it kills the tower, so G2's not safe under the tower, and puts On in the position to land the taunt. But despite how well that started for BLG, the rest of his team couldn't follow up. So BLG get the Infernal Dragon. The entire time there was a fight top lane, and that's why this is happening. This is not, Poppy was not in the fight. Poppy, we'll see what happened to Poppy. So it is just a fight. Bin buffers the Poppy ulti well, and just a nice little solo kill there from Bin, getting a lot of gold. The gold advantage actually exploded after that. Not exploded, it ballooned, let's say. Bin now quite a bit ahead, and Abessa's really not the person you want to be fed on this team. In my opinion, she's the worst person to be strong for G2, because she's, if she is not killable, that is a big problem. Anyone else not being killable, it's like fine, because they can't just kill the entire team by themselves. But Abessa, like, yeah. No, yeah. Abessa can kill the entire team by herself. That champ is balanced. Okay. Nothing crazy happened in the interim between dragons. Sometimes there's some crazy stuff happening, crazy macro moves, but in this game, nothing crazy. No towers taken, no serious fights, just posturing for the next dragon. So here we go. Looking at the mid lane, both teams trying to get prio. Q from Skimon isn't in the best direction, but it ends up being okay, but he does get chunked. Hans is doing some decent chip damage. Annie and Abessa are both top side, but they're going to base and TP into this fight. G2 is going to get first setup, and a hook almost lands. That would have been huge. Abessa has the flank, whereas Abessa is now grouped. It really feels like this is a good angle for Abessa, but it's really going to come down to an engage. If the engage works for either team, that is really, really important. And Caps looks for the engage, but it doesn't really result in anything. and then BLG look for their counter engage and kill Skewmon instantly. So I think it's pretty easy to point out that Skewmon obviously made a mistake, but I think the big problem is that G2 is like, I think if they want to go for this engage, could just go back. I think if they want to go for this engage, Skewmon needs to be like more ready and like walking over to like press R on somebody. And were that to happen, this fight may go a different way, but perhaps they had not seen the Mbessa yet, but it does feel pretty bad that the Vi just gets 100 to 0 naturally. And this is a good progression for BLG. That's the second Infernal Dragon. That's pretty big. And Galio, thinking that the Poppy had probably base or something, I'm not really sure. But he's in really aggressively and is completely dead here. This is a free kill. Top lane, Mbessa is going to get this top tier 2 though. So while it is a kill and a tower, it's not that bad of a trade. The next play coming in, is a bit before the dragon. Here, this felt so bad in the game. So Ana's caught, right? No flash Shen, so this guy should for sure be dead. Like, we're getting hooked at half HP as a support. We missed the Senna ulti, and we Nautilus ulti somebody else. So Ana actually does live, which is a huge difference to the way this fight's going to play out, because Shen ult is active, right? So he can base and come back into the fight with Shen ulti. If he had died, perhaps G2 would have continued going, but because he survived, no such luck, a flash away from Vi. And the next dragon's coming up. Gonna be another fight. We'll see how this one goes. Again, I think that it's really important who gets the engage clean. So both front lines sort of running at each other. A nice Poppy ult out of it, but it doesn't look like Shun is taking any damage. And while the two people did get knocked out, G2 did not deal any damage. So probably at this point in this fight, it was just not playable. Like oh yeah, Bing goes crazy here. They if we go back to like this situation, if your Poppy lands an ulti onto Mbessa, and I guess Shen's gonna ult back in, but we landed onto the Mbessa, but we're just not doing any damage. You see what I mean? Like, why are both, like, Knight is half HP, but he's finally going down, and then Mbessa arrives back. Mbessa's back into this fight. It's 3v4. The Poppy and the Nautilus died before the Galio died. So perhaps this is like not the best time to be fighting, but there's not really much choice. It's Soul. You have to fight. BLG get Infernal, Soul, and Baron. That is bad. And if they couldn't deal damage to kill anyone last fight, G2 certainly can deal the damage to kill them in the next couple fights. Gonna need a lot of souls to come back. So BLG is just pushing mid and bot lane. Pretty standard Baron play. 0-1-4. And Knight is pretty safe with the Zhonya's and the Flash. And the Shen ulti even. If they go too far, it could be bad. Cannon kills the tower. And Bin finds Labrov. 8-level lead. Capuchungus Deluxe. Caps looks for Knight, but Knight does flash away. So he's fine. Free inhibitor, but I don't believe the game ends here. I think it is just B tier 2. A little bit of poke, but ultimately the game continues for a little bit. So Caps is clearing mid-wave, and as you may have seen, he does get hit by the arrow and does get killed after this. Okay, well, it's pretty dumb now, right? It's 5v4. Bin does TP top, which does make it interesting, because now it is a 4v4. But okay, it's still not playable. Enemy team has Infernal Soul. Ashe has GA. Ashe barely lives. Shouldn's taking a lot of damage. If Ashe had died fast, this was still lost, but we can cope and pretend like it wasn't. All right. Game 1 goes to BLG. I don't know. I mean, I definitely understand the criticism with G2's comp, but I feel like if they're actually ahead, it's fine. But maybe it's not. I'm not sure. Ultimately, BLG take game 1. G2 need to bounce back for game 2. Let's see how it happened. Going into game 2. Looking at these compositions, I think the big surprises are mostly just Syndra. I feel like all these other champs are relatively normal. Syndra not seen as often, but she's pretty synonymous with pro play in my opinion for a long time. Maybe that's because I'm old. I don't know. But looking at how these compositions play into each other, I have to say I probably prefer BLG's comp. And the main reason I say that is they have Sivir into Varus in a game where Sivir, like, this is a really good Sivir game. Oftentimes when the enemy team has Sivir, there are champions that make it really difficult for her. But all of the champions on G2 find it difficult to do anything to Sivir. So I feel like Sivir can really run rampant, and she has plenty frontline. And G2, like BLG, has lots of damage for these tanks as well. Like Pantheon does damage to these tanks. Gnar even does damage to these tanks. Syndra doesn't really do damage to the tanks, but she does damage to the squishies. So I kind of like BLG's comp more. Going into the game. We have to start early. So don't often talk about how specific matchups should be played. Apologies, the mic was a bit off. But the bot lane matchup, Alistar is always you lose prio. That's just how that champion works. And Nico, for the most part, is you always get prio. So if we just let this bot lane play out a little bit, you'll notice that the Sivir champion is getting a prio with the Alistar, even though this is definitely not how this is supposed to go. I'm absolutely positive. It doesn't matter what anyone says. And I think I don't really know exactly what happened because it wasn't immediately obvious to me why this was so bad, but the losing a prio ends up being pretty bad because shortly afterwards Lebrov takes a bunch of damage and feels like he needs to base. He's already got no potions. He's 250 HP and opts to recall. Now, another important factor to mention is that the Varus is poke Varus. I almost exclusively see on-hit Varus versus Sivir. I'm not sure if that's like a thing, but I do almost exclusively see on-hit Sivir into Varus, or into on-hit Varus into Sivir. So on-hit, or so poke is a bit strange. Here, BLG dive the Varus who is alone because Nico recalled. And obviously this is not how this is supposed to go. I don't think this is related to the comment, but Lebrov does get back in time and tries to hold this wave and does successfully hold the wave for the most part, and Skewmon comes and cleans up. So even though it was a dive, it is a 2-for-1. So the dive was probably not worth it, even though they got a kill, because the Alistar was the one who got the kill anyway. And we'll continue. But yeah, just some thoughts about bot lane there. We'll see how the game develops, but I really think this is a good Sivir game. Alistar is very, very deep into the enemy jungle. And yeah, after having no, what's it called? After having no, excuse me, flash from the bot die, or from the bot play. He can't be that far up. Gets killed. Nice early game for G2 so far. And here, Dragon spawning. Now, Mundo had such a fast clear. And one thing about Mundo is he can kill the objectives pretty fast as well. He's not just he kills the mini camps fast, he also kills the big objectives fast. And here he came bot lane, kind of helped G2 contest this prio, and then is starting this dragon. I don't think BLG realized that, oh no, they do realize the dragon started because there's a ward on it. but they don't feel safe because presumably Caps being here makes them a lot more scared. Caps is sacking his lane for this, but G2 get this dragon, get the soul, 23-minute soul started. And G2, without a consistent damage threat from 80 carry, like they have Poke Varus, can't kill Baron. So their win condition is Dragon. So I think this makes a lot of sense to go for. But it also is a bit strange why it isn't on hit Varus, because there is really no consistent damage from G2. If I knew it was Poke Varus, I probably would have liked G2 comps even less. But I always try to do the compositions before the game, like with as little bias as possible based on how the game goes out. You know, obviously I can't completely remove it. Sign gets killed there, but Pantheon ulti. But I try and do as little bias as possible. Give as neutral of a take, or not as neutral, you know, my genuine opinion on how the comps should play out, and I would have assumed that Varus would have gone on hit. But yeah, I don't know. With Poke Varus, seems pretty bad. Pantheon is doing the grubs on trade flashes with good flash from Labrov, but it ends up being a trade flash. On almost gets Labrov there, but good flash. And no counter from Pantheon. Knight Syndra, by the way. We talked about the Syndra champion itself, but not that it was Knight Syndra. Knight is known for his Ahri and Syndra. Those are the two champs he's really known for. So we're kind of in for a treat. Hopefully we get to see his Ahri later. That would be exciting. Okay. So G2 again, they really have to play these dragons. Caps gets a bad trade there. Now he is going to look to base. If he got the chunk onto Syndra there, then Syndra would have been in range to die, trying to face check that bush with no vision. But BLG decided not to contest this dragon. Shun was the basing for Sundered Sky, and it's just not in range. So nothing happens. Also, the other reason they don't fight it is that San is coming down the river. Apologies if I'm a bit slow right now. Okay, look at bot lane. Shun is in the bot lane ganking the flashless Nico. Good job from Shun. Nothing much to really say there. And coming back on the map, both sides. The bot scuttle has spawned. We didn't talk much about the scuttles, but there is going to be a fight here. Shun has a nice E to block most of Aurora's damage. The Syndra ulti goes onto the Mundo, but the Mundo doesn't go down quite yet, but does eventually go down to the Pantheon. Pantheon does a lot of damage to... like, Pantheon can kill tanks for sure. And Bin's TP in is way more impactful than Sion's TP in at this moment. Now, I hate to do this, but we're going to have to focus on Caps a lot this game, because the mechanics are a bit suspicious. So, let's just think about the target selection, right? From Caps' perspective, he goes on the ulted Alistar, which is probably bad, but that also doesn't kill him. Kind of spaghettis his entire keyboard there. And the reason I'm pointing that out isn't because I want to hate on Caps, but we'll see that as the game develops, that Caps, like, he really misplays a lot of these fights, and it really changes the way this game is supposed to go, because, I mean, if he had gone for the Pantheon with no E, the Pantheon probably would have died, or been very close to dying, and that would have been a more useful usage of his spells than using everything on the ulted no abilities Alistar and not killing him. BLG get the Herald here. G2 opted not to fight, and the dragon is coming up for G2. So Caps doesn't land any of those abilities, but that's fine. Like, sometimes you miss those. We're not just gonna dogpile them for no reason. If we're gonna flame somebody, it's gonna be because they deserve it. On lands a combo onto Caps. The stun lands onto Caps. He ults thinking he's scared. Kind of wastes it. Alistar goes in and wastes his ulti though. If Aurora didn't waste ult, this would have been really good for G2, but the fact that Caps had to ulti kind of feels bad. It's probably more annoying for G2 than BLG. You'd rather have Aurora ulti. But On is going to find it really hard. And the Battle Herald comes out. G2 have already secured the dragon. But the fight kind of just doesn't happen. G2, like, the BLG just don't find the angle for this fight. So even though there's no Aurora ulti and no Alistar ulti, it ends up not mattering. On survives with the flash. And everybody leaves happy. Well, mostly G2 leaves happy. But the weird thing is that this scuttle spawns and both teams decide that this is the time to make the play. Labrov goes in for the flash Nico ulti, but the Alistar headbutt comes out. That's why you pick Alistar into Nico. Mundo kills the Alistar. And G2 is very low, but they're still trying to get this scuttle. They don't even end up getting it. But now Caps gets caught again and ends up going down. We're not going to go too like razor focused on Caps. I'll try not to be, but in a lot of these fights, he's not playing them very well. He's missing a lot of skill shots. And there he got caught out at the very end. He had a bad ulti direction as well. Just going to point this out. Like, if he's going to ult, he should ult over this wall, and then he would be fine. But it's fine. Except it's not fine. He died. All right. Nothing happens for the next 4 minutes because Dragon is coming up. And everybody loves Dragon. Bin is up 3k gold, which is very nice. So, both teams contesting around Dragon, posturing, fighting for vision. The engage is really important for how these fights are going to start. If BLG can pick somebody off and kill them instantly, it is a huge problem. And here, Caps, again, is the one that gets CC'd. Then a flash knockup from Alistar. CC's him even more. He's basically dead without blowing a spell. BB tries to play interruption, but Caps is just... It's just too strong of an engage. Too free of an engage. BLG get the dragon. Don't overextend and try to get the Nash. Just accept their victory on the dragon. And continue. Excuse me. And the game continues, but BLG does have a 4k gold lead. Pretty significant. The G2 believers, the G2 faithful are not loving life right now, unfortunately. But Bin gets hit by not only the cleaver, but also the Varus ulti and goes down. That's a big shutdown over to Varus. That's pretty big. And I want to notice, I'm not going to jump too far ahead here because I want to illustrate this point that the G2 squad, after getting this kill, don't recall. They immediately run to top side and try to make this TP play. And I understand, you know, they want to fight 5v4, but one of the worst feeling mistakes, from my opinion as a pro, is fighting without spending your gold. Because it's such a dumb mistake. It's like, oh yeah, we all know to not fight without spending our gold, but like we're only going to fight if we think it's good. And the problem is that G2 there try to go in, but it fails. Then BLG walk in after the failed engage and start a fight. And Hansama still hasn't based and spent that shutdown gold. Labrov goes down, and the rest of BLG is now, you know, there's no defense left to stop the rest of BLG. You know, Viper's on the front line on Sivir, just attacking, and all of G2 goes down, basically. I think BB survives, but 4 for 0 for basically no, like, they got a kill on Bin, and that was the inciting play for G2 to all die and lose Nash. So, feels pretty bad. BLG get the Nasher. And now they're going to push bot mid. Now, Dragon's up in a minute. That's going to be a big point of contention. But oftentimes when you have Baron, the enemy team can't really contest the Dragon properly. BLG was playing 3 lanes, but didn't get a ton of work done. So they transitioned to playing 2 lanes. Labrov tries to look for a play here. He's being a minion, but Knight, good reactions. Doesn't fall for that one. And with no flash, no ulti on Nico, now you're pretty confident that G2 is not going to be fighting this dragon. And BLG is just going to push mid bot. Nothing particularly eventful happens on this Baron Siege. They get both mid. They get both tier 2s, and they reset and they come back on the map. So the Baron's gone. The game is sort of back to neutral, not in terms of gold, but in terms of the game state is like equal. And once again, Caps is the one that's getting caught. He goes down. This kind of baits the rest of G2 into fighting. Hansama goes down. And this is what I'm saying. Like, this so far, we didn't talk about it much game 1, but this game, Caps is playing pretty poorly. This is one of the worst set of games in a series I've seen Caps play. And it's unfortunate, you know. I think it's just one of those games. Like, sometimes you're gonna have a bad game. The 2 kills from BLG snowball into a third. BB flashes out but gets executed by Syndra ulti. Passive gets knocked away, so this tower is still here. Labrov tries to go in but goes down before his ult goes off, and Skimon cannot survive 1 versus 5. Caps and Hansama are alive, but it's 5v2. They're just gonna wait for the next wave and push to end this game. So BLG 2-0. G2, BLG are kind of the slayers of G2. You hope to see them come back. Hopefully next game G2 comes with something spicy and makes this a series. Game 3 is certainly a game of all time. Looking at the composition, definitely the first thing that jumps out to you is going to be Kaylin Melio versus Yunara Lulu. The top side is relatively, you know, normal. You got Cassandra Renekton, Trundle Wukong, Ahri Nakala. They're all pretty normal, but it's all about this bot lane. It's going to come down to how does this bot lane play out. So let's not waste any time and jump right into the game. So initially, my first thought was this sounds terrible. I'll be honest. And then I was thinking, you know, I could believe that the Kaylin Melio, maybe with the range, you could do, there's some like range advantage that you can take advantage of. Skimon has a plan though, and he flashes over the wall to dodge the ward on ramp. For speed reasons, he doesn't want to go all the way around. It takes forever. So he's flashing over the wall to start this red. Bot lane's going to trade really heavy. And Skimon's going to hit level 12 and then gank bot lane. And this might be one of the saddest things I've ever seen in my entire life, because BLG get a really nice trade, force Hansama's flash. This is already so bad for G2, because this is like such a huge like losing of conditions. And I mean, they know now that Skimon is in here because Wukong walked over red. But the problem is, like, oh my god, it's just so depressing to watch. Oh my god, they both died. So they were gonna cheese gank bot with their troll champs, and then they both died. And not only did they both die, but Skimon's also gonna die. And no one on BLG is gonna die. This is so bad. This is like the most depressing thing I've seen all day. I mean, the day just has started, but oh my god, I mean, there's a trade mid here. It's okay. This was complete disaster, but we can come back. Caps tries to flash and do some stuff, but he didn't flash in the right direction. If he flashed like over, then he could have at least gotten a nice flash, but Knight didn't even have the flash, so bad flash from Caps there. And okay, this is pretty bad, but winnable. Okay, we stay saying winnable. It's okay. So, Yunara has boots to advantage. Caitlyn has a longsword. Not really what you want to see. Also, Lulu has a Aether Wisp. Now, there's going to be another 2v2. And this Berserker Greaves is unfortunately a little too powerful. This is just so depressing. And then it's only going to get worse, which is the worst part. It's only going to get worse because, okay, having one complete disaster is like, oh, that's fine. It's okay. We're going to trade kill and kill on. Nope, heal came back up. Oh my god. Bot lane and jungle are completely ruined. It's okay. Mid and top will carry. Mid and top will carry. Wait.
And now the forced plays are resulting in even more damage. Knight goes in and gets a solo kill. BLG off 6-0, 5 minutes into the game.
It might be completely lost at 5 minutes. I'm not gonna lie. I'm the CEO of It's Winnable, and we need to FF already. This game is not playable. Okay? Before the game started, I was thinking, I was like, man, I don't like that BB's on this Renekton Kazante. Like, I feel like Bin's so good at these matchups that are all about you know, one guy is just trying to survive as much as possible, you know, like scrunching up into a little ball. And to BB's credit, he actually plays really well in the laning phase because his entire team is on fire. Like, these matchups that, like, even just neutral matchups tend to be winning when your team is so far ahead. But he does really well in this lane, all things considered. Like, his entire map is unplayable, but he's doing fine. And I was gonna say that I don't really like the fact that we're putting Bin on Renekton and playing Kazante into it, because I feel like, similar to like the Nara Scion, like, I don't know, I feel like Bin just does so good in these scenarios where he just has to create a huge lead for himself. But it doesn't really matter. I mean, there's not really much to talk about. I'm just showing BLG getting the dragon, farming between towers. Knight gets another solo kill. It is pretty disastrous. Viper gets the kill onto Labrov. Like, if you're getting 2v2 dove under the under the tier 2 at 7 minutes, like, it's so lost. Like, I don't even know what to say. Like, there's no analysis that needs to be done. Like, it's just completely unplayable. Well, like, you know, this is just so sad. It is just so sad. But I mean, look at BB. He's equal in CS. Like, he's not even down gold, basically. He's doing such a good job. Skimon steals a grub. Woohoo! We stole a grub. Okay, Shin's gonna get the other two. Some fighting happening around bot side, and you won't believe that the BLG side don't just stomp and dive them. Surprisingly, they do have to back off, but no kills. 5k gold lead at 12 minutes is pretty bad. It is pretty bad. Dragon for BLG. Now, I'm gonna defend BB here. He's gonna go for a solo kill. It's not gonna work out because jungle is OP. But I honestly think that this is like the kind of play you have to make, because the opportunity cost is you get solo killed and lose the game harder that you're already down 5k at 14 minutes. But the potential gains are huge, because if he did get this solo kill, maybe we could pretend to cope. But, like, you know, we can't. We can't pretend to cope, but we can pretend to cope. A little bit. Okay, so the oh, what was that? There's a little bit of a skirmish mid, but the real action is in the bot lane. Akali is diving this Caitlyn. Nothing really happens. We'll show the replay. Oops, sorry. The replay happens, yeah, here. So it's an Akali that's level 12 diving at Caitlyn. Yeah, not much Han Sama can do. He tries to flash it, but honestly, he shouldn't have even flashed. He was completely dead. So we're just gonna keep going, I guess. Okay, so 8k gold lead at 16 minutes. Sometimes you have to play very cleanly to survive. But here, the W actually does land onto Viper, and BB does kill Viper, which is kind of big. And the Wukong ends up going down as well. So G2 do get some shutdowns here. They get the Yunara, the Trundle, and the Lulu, and I believe all of them had a shutdown because they're all really fed and they're up 8 million gold. Bid comes in. G2 don't have enough damage to continue, even though it's 3 versus 2. Emilio is basically a fake champ with no AD carry. So, okay. We just leave. Now, I would love to be like, yeah, G2 could win. But, like, they're down 7k still. Like, it doesn't even matter. They got 3 shutdowns, and they're still down 7k gold. Like, it's just still so unplayable. Okay. Bin gets caught. Unfortunate for him. Something interesting to point out, actually, is Caps' build. He's going the Blackfire Torch, and he builds on Lichbane. I always thought that this build was bad. So I'm surprised that he went for it, honestly. But I don't know. It's definitely bad when you're down 8k, that's for sure. But BLG, 4v5, say, nah, we're going to win anyway. And they will. They were right. Good analysis from BLG to realize it doesn't matter if they don't have the Renekton, and they're just going to fight anyway. Clean 3 for 0. So the bin kill is now, you know, nothing, right? The Herald goes down. They get mid tier 2. They get top tier 2. They were down 7k before the kill on bin, and now they're almost down 10k. So, okay. It got worse. We're going to continue. Caps has to blow ulti, but he survives. There's some stuff happening, but mostly it's just BLG being strong. No kills happen. I would love to do some analysis, but it's like BLG's just sort of doing whatever they want. They genuinely can do whatever they want, and they're so far ahead that they aren't even taking it seriously. Like, they're just kind of messing around. And here, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about, because Knight just completely one-shots this Trundle, and then says, yeah, let's keep going. And really nice charm here from Caps to cancel the R2. And Knight, because he sees the teleport behind him, assumes he's dead no matter what. And does go down, gives a 1k shutdown to the Caitlyn. And they're still down 10k after the shutdown. So, like, if I was G2 in-game, I would be thinking, yeah, like, we're coming back. But with the benefit of having spectator view and seeing that you're still down 10k, it's not happening. It's still unplayable. Until the soul fight. And this is where things turn around for G2. Because through some divine miracle, this fight from G2 goes in just the way where they're going to turn the entire game around. They land the charm onto Viper. He has to flash out. Skewmon barely lives. Shun and On are so low. On gets flashed on. He goes down. Shun stuck in the pit. He goes down. Viper EW's in. The smite goes to Skewmon, but BB's behind Viper. Wait. G2's turning it around. Bin has no flash. It's going to go down. It's going to be almost a quadra. And now it's just Knight. G2 go for it. But unfortunately, all fairy tales in reality are simply that, fairy tales. And even with their miracle fight, BLG still win. They don't get the dragon though, so the game is not instantly over, to be fair. It is still lost, but it's not lost. BLG, because Trundle has no flash, that he just used it in that fight, just start Baron immediately as soon as they're all ready to go. And they get Nash. G2 don't want BLG to get out of this scot-free though. And Viper kind of splits himself from his team and goes down. And I think G2 do chase down and kill Bin as well, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure they get another kill here. Yeah, Bin goes down. So 2 kills for G2. BB goes down in trade, but you always assume trade kills are worth it for the losing side. Baron power play not particularly effective, and G2 get an objective bounty, so they're only down 8k, which is still a lot, but it's, I guess, only. And it comes down to this next dragon fight. So G2 managed to pull the rabbit out of the hat in the last fight. Can they do it one more time? Can they make the comeback a reality? I said I would bet 10k after like 5 minutes of this game that G2 would win. Or excuse me, not G2 would win. That would, I'd be like a billionaire if I won that bet. I meant that BLG would win. So it's Hextexol. Been on the flank, Knight on the flank. BLG have very clean battle lines. Caps is blocking the Renekton. The Renekton's taking a lot of damage from this Ahri. It's very annoying for him. Sterix goes down, and he flashes onto Caps. Does a lot of damage. Bin does go down, but Knight is here for the cleanup. Kills Caps. Labrov. Nice Q onto the Akali, but okay. Yeah, they're down 1 billion gold, and they got Hextexol. Like, it's still lost. The game's over, okay? It was over in 5 minutes. What do you want me to say? They got 2v3'd bot lane in a matchup where you get Giga outscaled, and then they died 2v2, and then their jungler dove bot and died. Like, we opened those 100 out of 100 in scrims. And then our mid laner got soloed. Twice! Oh my god. Congratulations, BLG. Well-deserved victory. Strongly going into the bracket stage of First Stand. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what I can do better. Let me know what your favorite part of the series was. My player of the series, thanks for asking. I didn't think about it. It's hard. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm gonna say Knight because he had a really big last game. That's the only reason I'm making that decision. Good job from BLG. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.